Okay, so it is Monday, the 10th of February, 2025, and it's going to be a good week. The theme for this week is natural language, right? And the whole ethos here is an understanding, situational awareness, if you will, workplace, digital or virtual workplace situational awareness, where we understand that um, everything that happens as the leader of the organization after I get ideas out of my head and communicate it to a machine or a human being, like that's where the friction starts, right? And the whole idea is to start making it easier to get ideas out of my head and digitized, not just told to other people, but digitized. The reason why digitized is important is to start building. There's leverage. You can say something once, it's recorded, and then it can be used over and over again. So the first step is just digitizing. It's just speaking as opposed to typing, right? Because the bottleneck to typing is like around 50 words a minute. 60, 70 if you're good. The bottleneck to speaking is 120 to 150 words a minute. And eventually ideals will go from at the speed of thought, right? That's another whole story. So the whole idea is to get ideas out of our head and record it, i.e. digitized, and then sent. And then that kicks off, like that ignites the proverbial digital workflow, like assembly line. First step is the trigger, which is the command, the natural language command. Let me say it again. The first step in the workflow is the trigger. And the optimized trigger that I'm really realizing has the most leverage is the natural language trigger, right? So you go from a natural language trigger, all right, to the next step, which is recorded in digital form. That could be audio and or video, all right? And then the audio and video is turned into text as a transcript, right? But the first step right after the recording is the file has to be saved and it has to be stored in the cloud, not just locally, all right? And then once it's stored in the cloud, actually before it's even stored, it has to be named properly, right? The metadata has to be optimized, right? Because that's even a huge problem for people. They can't find files. So just teasing out this process has been hugely um, oops, excuse me. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Something happened. I didn't get my call.
Hi, Sean. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Good morning. Happy Monday. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Maybe the ring was off, but yeah, I was like, oh, what happened? But that's okay. You're always so punctual and so
Yeah.
reliable. So happy Monday. I did my outreach, and I also have been rereading my book on delegation, really leaning into just the hidden cost of task switching. Now that I feel like I've really been dialing in over the past couple of weeks, the power of batching tasks. And what I realized is that in order to, like, there's a symbiotic relationship between batching tasks and task switching. And I just realized when I have the most momentum, I love that word you use, is that basically when I can reduce the number of like task switch that I do and batch tasks, I mean the momentum
Yeah.
comes from doing the same thing the same way, like ideally at the same time. Like that's how I picked up so much momentum. I mean, my goodness, in a whole in a whole month. So the theme for me for the week, I feel like, is a combination of I've just been repeating the phrase over and over again, like friction free, asking myself where's the friction,
Yeah.
and what popped up in my mind was the whole idea of reducing the task switching that I do. So to kind of begin the week, I did my outreach. I started reading at the beginning of the day, and as I speak to you, I'm cheating a little bit, but I'm pulling up for the first time today the numbers for my project management tool. I've been
Okay.
doing about 50. I've been doing about 50 views a day, and yeah, I would love for that to creep up to, I mean, in the next week, 100 views. I do find that every time I post a video, like the more videos I have posted, the more the more views I get because there's just more for people to see. So yeah, I'm just trying to work on getting that locked in. Hopefully, I can move up to 100 views a day within the next week or two, and then that'll creep up to, you know, 200, 300, 400, 500. And the goal is, I mean, I would love by the end of this. That's a bit of a tall order, but why not? Like, if the end of this quarter, I'm doing, well, I was going to say 10,000, but say 1,000. But 10,000 would be a dream. If I'm doing 10,000 views a a day, that would be a dream. So I'm really looking forward to what the week has to offer, and I'm moving forward with hiring someone. Oh, I didn't tell you that I have them booked for Wednesday,
Good.
my time, to work on
Okay.
what I talked to you about on Friday, which is basically the two options of just recording my workflow or just
Yeah.
basically doing an interview style where they tease out from me the actual nuance. The reason why that's really important for to me to be asked specific questions by a fresh set of eyes for recording the workflow is that when you've done it 1,000 times, sometimes it's you're unconsciously competent and you skip
Yeah.
steps. But when you have a
Okay.
fresh pair of eyes, two things. When you have a fresh pair of eyes, they ask you things that you're not even aware that you're doing. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that a second pair of eyes tells you how good the instructions are, because the instructions are not good if somebody else can't follow them and get the same results. Let me repeat: like if some I can follow a set of instructions that only I need to see all day long, but if I give it to someone else and they don't get at least a, let's just say, knock on wood, a 70+% result of what I can, then it means there was something wrong with my instructions. And the takeaway for me is that I have to have a second pair of eyes on instructions for me to know that they're done well. So I'm very excited about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I'm taking note of that. But what about I'm taking note also of the March goal to reach 1K views a day.
Mm-hmm.
But what about this week? What would you like to set as a weekly goal? Because aside from this meeting on Wednesday, which is going to be definitely important, is there anything else coming up?
Yeah, great question. So, what I would like to by the end of this week, I want to I want to have a visual workflow map that maps out each step in the workflow process to basically go from
Mm-hmm.
idea to uh, actual thing produced. Example, produce and distribute. Example, video produced and distributed. Blog post produced and when I say distributed, I also mean published. And then what I want to
Yeah.
do is, so I have that map, and I want to have the first step that happens, the very first step that happens after the record button is pushed on or off. I wanted automated. Now, it might sound like a small thing, but actually the very first button that happens after that is automatic naming of files.